Okay, now we're going to talk about for the task sheet that ends in 3002. On that task sheet, it asks you about dynamic brake systems that are on the vehicle. Obviously, we're using the red Freightliner that we covered in a previous video for that task sheet, but to explain dynamic braking systems and what it's talking about there would be anti-lock brake systems, traction control systems, and roll stability control. Okay, the red Freightliner only has anti-lock brake control, and there's a couple of ways that we can identify if something has ABS. Okay. One way is near the wheel, you will have a sensor coming out of the wheel hub assembly. So you'll be able to see the wire that comes out. It will generally attach to the flex hose that's running from the brake chamber and then connect to the truck. So if you see a little electric wire coming out of the wheel hub area, that identifies it as ABS, which the red Freight has. Another way, if you see these modulator valves on air brake ABS, so where lines come off of the brake chamber and go to a little valve with electrical connections ran to it and an air line coming in, that indicates as well that is ABS, because this valve is what pulses the brakes, and we'll get into how ABS works at a later date, but right now it's just an identification thing. Any vehicle that has ABS should have an ABS light that comes on the dash when you turn the key on. It's a self-check, so ABS runs a self-check on an initial power up, so when the key's turned on, to make sure the system is good. So if you turn the key switch on, we have ABS and trailer ABS both light up there. So trailer ABS light goes out, ABS stays on. That would indicate there's a problem with the ABS system, because it should go off after that initial little self-test. Anything with air brakes, and you'd hear a little bit more if we had the air built up on the truck, but when you turn the key on, those little clicking noises that you hear are actually those ABS modulator valves being operated by the computer to do that self-test. So that's another indication. If you have ABS, you will hear that noise when you turn the key on. Traction control, automatic traction control, uses the ABS on the vehicle to help with traction. So there's no real identification just from looking the vehicle over that will tell you that it has traction control. It has to have ABS to have that, but that does not mean that it has traction control just because it has ABS. So once again, on our initial turning the key on system check, we have traction control that comes on here and then goes off. That I just identified that this vehicle has traction control on it, so that's one way to tell. Roll stability control will be a different system. We don't have anything here with that on it. That ties into the truck's brakes and trailer to prevent the vehicle from rolling over if it goes around a corner too fast. So we'll get into that later, but just for this task sheet, know that we don't have roll stability control or automatic traction control on our Freightliner. We do on this trainer. I've got two of these air brake trainers that have those, but on your task sheet, you're using the red 2000 Freightliner, so the only thing it has is anti-lock brakes.